All right, hear me out. Imagine you're a rich kid, chilling in your massive mansion, living your best orphan life. Then, boom. One day, an insanely gorgeous maid just shows up out of nowhere, offering to work for free? Bro, that's not just a red flag. It's a whole parade. But that's exactly what happens to our boy, Yuri. And let's just say, homeboy's got trust issues. And honestly, rightfully so. This whole situation is shady AF. Let's break it down. So, Yuri lost his parents. Yeah, sad backstory, moving on. And now he's stuck alone in this ridiculously big house. And instead of spending his inheritance on a PlayStation 5 and a lifetime supply of instant noodles like a normal kid, he's just living in complete silence. No butlers, no staff, just one lonely rich boy vibes. Until she arrives. Enter Lilith, the picture-perfect maid with purple eyes, long black hair, and serious main character energy. She just waltzes in like she owns the place, all polite and proper, saying, "I will work for you, young master. Hold up. Who sent you? Why are you here? And why are you free?" Yuri, being the only logical person in the room, immediately goes full detective mode. He starts questioning her like she's a suspect on a crime show. Why would someone as beautiful as you work for free? Are you an assassin? A spy? A cursed spirit? Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the vibe. Lilith just giggles. Giggles like she's hiding something major, which, let's be real, she totally is. Now, if this was real life, Yuri would have already called the cops, but instead, he does what any socially awkward anime protagonist would do. He watches her like a hawk. And the more he watches, the weirder it gets. She's always smiling, like creepy perfect smiling. No one's that happy doing housework. She reads his mind before he even speaks. Would you like some tea? I was just thinking that. Girl, are you a psychic? She moves like a ninja. Bro literally blinks, and the entire mansion is spotless. I can't even fold my laundry without having an existential crisis. So, naturally, Yuri does what any self-respecting Gen Z kid would do. He panics. You're way too perfect. There's no way you're normal. Lilith? She just laughs it off like it's all a joke. Oh, young master, you're so cute when you're flustered. Ma'am, that's not an answer. Now, Yuri's officially in his "I don't trust this woman" arc. He starts setting traps. Yeah, like some straight-up Home Alone type beat. He randomly changes his food order to see if she predicts it. She does. He leaves his books in a mess to see how fast she cleans. It's instant. He stays up late to see if she actually sleeps. She doesn't. Or at least, he never catches her. At this point, my guy is straight up spiraling. But instead of calling for help, Yuri goes full tsundere. He's like, "I'm watching you," while simultaneously blushing because, let's be real, Lilith is OP in the waifu category. And the way she teases him, yeah, she knows exactly what she's doing. Just when you think Yuri's paranoia has peaked, something weird happens. One night, he wakes up and sees Lilith outside, talking to someone. Who is it? What are they saying? Is she secretly an assassin, a princess in disguise, a time traveler? We don't know yet. And that's what makes this even more suspicious. And then she turns around and smiles. "Young master, you should go back to sleep." Excuse me? Nah, see, at this point, Yuri's either living in a romantic comedy or a horror movie, and we don't know which one yet. All right, y'all, what do you think? Is Lilith just a really good maid, or is Yuri right to be scared? Either way, this situation is sus, and I need answers. So, our boy Yuri, aka the human version of a red flag detector, has been living with this maid for a while now. And let's just say he's still side-eyeing her harder than your mom. Side-eyes your browser history every single day. She's perfect. Too perfect. Cooking, immaculate, cleaning, spotless. But her whole "I'm totally normal" act is sketchier than an influencer's honest product review. And today, oh boy, today is different. Yuri, our resident FBI agent in training, sees her casually leaving the mansion. But hold up, she looks anxious. Yeah, because nothing screams "I'm innocent" like speed walking out of a building looking over your shoulder. Yuri's brain immediately goes, "Mission accepted." Like any self-respecting main character with more trust issues than a reality show contestant, Yuri decides to follow her. And let me tell you, his stealth skills, trash. My guy is over here creeping through the streets like he's trying to speedrun getting caught. Lilith, the maid, obviously notices. I mean, she's probably got ninja reflexes or something, but instead of calling him out, she just keeps walking, ignoring him. And Yuri? Oh, he's not backing down. He's on that detective grind. He's whispering to himself like a true crime podcast narrator. Where is she going? Who is she meeting? Am I about to uncover a secret underground maid cult? Spoiler, no, but also kinda yes. After sneaking around for what feels like 10 business days, Yuri finally sees Lilith enter a building. And it's not just any building, it's a fancy store. Like the kind where you walk in and the employees look at you like you don't belong. We've all been there. And Yuri, he's like, "Aha, caught you in the act, spending my family's money, exposed." So this kid, with all the confidence of someone who's about to make a fool of himself, marches up to Lilith like he's about to deliver the sickest gotcha moment of all time. Yuri, what are you hiding? Lilith, buying groceries. Yuri, lies. Lilith, bro, look. And she just casually shows him a shopping bag full of normal stuff, like eggs, bread, and milk. Not a single illegal item. Not even a secret treasure map, just vibes. Yuri.exe has stopped working. So now Yuri is standing there, looking like the dumbest boy alive. But does that stop him? Nope. He doubles down. Yuri, okay, but why did you look so nervous when you left? Lilith, because I thought you might follow me and embarrass yourself in public. Yuri, look, even Lilith can't believe the level of clownery happening right now. But to be fair, she's been weird since day one. So Yuri's paranoia, not completely unjustified. But at this point, even the store clerk is looking at him like, "Please, sir, leave the maid alone." Just when Yuri is about to admit defeat and accept that maybe, just maybe, he overreacted, something wild happens. A random guy walks up to Lilith. And guess what? He knows her. Yuri's paranoia meter maxed out. Dude, wow, Lilith? It's been ages. Yuri's brain. Who is this man? Yuri is watching this like he just unlocked a secret side quest. Who is this guy? A past lover? A partner in crime? A rival spy? The suspense is real. But Lilith? She just smiles and goes, "Oh, it's been a while. How's work?" And the guy is like, "Same old, same old. If you ever want to come back, you know the door's always open." Yuri has left the chat. Now our boy is spiraling. Come back? Where? What kind of past is this woman hiding? So naturally, he does what any rational person would do. He starts catastrophizing at the speed of light. Yuri, are you a runaway criminal? A secret agent? A royal exile? Lilith, I used to work here, kid. Yuri, oh, turns out Lilith used to be an employee at this high-end store before she became his maid. And the only thing she's been hiding? The fact that she's still an absolute queen in the retail game. Yuri's overactive imagination deflated. So at the end of the day, Yuri realizes he's been acting like an entire soap opera protagonist for no reason. Again. But does he admit it? Nope. Instead, he walks back home, pouting, while Lilith absolutely roasts him the whole way. Lilith, so how does it feel knowing you just spent your entire afternoon following me for no reason? Yuri. I was making sure you weren't committing crimes. Lilith. Right, because I'm totally out here smuggling diamonds between my groceries. Yuri. It could happen. Lilith just sighs, because at this point, she's realized that this kid is a lost cause. But hey, at least he cares. And thus, another episode ends with Yuri still being convinced that his maid is a walking conspiracy theory, and Lilith just trying to live her life. Will he ever chill? Will Lilith ever tell him her actual secrets? Probably not. But we'll be here for the drama anyway. If you made it this far, congrats. You're officially invested in the dumbest detective saga of all time. Hit that like button, drop a comment on what you think Lilith is actually hiding. All right, imagine this. You're a rich kid living in a literal mansion, and your parents mysteriously vanish. Then, out of nowhere, this insanely perfect maid shows up, does all the chores flawlessly, cooks like a Michelin chef, and even knows your thoughts before you say them. Sounds like a dream, right? Nah, this is straight up suspicious. And that is exactly what's going down in today's episode recap, because Yuri is still convinced that his maid is hiding some dark secret. And honestly, I don't blame him. Let's dive in. So our boy Yuri is out here living in paranoia mode. Every time his maid, Lilith, does literally anything, he's like, why is she so perfect? Is she reading my mind? Is she an alien? Is she my long-lost sister? Bro, relax. Not every girl in your life has a sinister backstory. But Yuri's brain is cooked at this point. He's so obsessed with figuring out her secret that he ends up doing what every socially awkward person does when they overthink. He spirals into embarrassing moments. And trust me, there's a lot of them. Now, enter Tsukasa. She's Yuri's classmate and possibly the only person in this entire show with a functioning brain. The second she hears that he's living alone with a mysterious maid, she's like, hold up. You're telling me a woman just showed up out of nowhere and started taking care of you? For free? This girl is on it. She pulls up to Yuri's mansion like an undercover detective, ready to expose whatever's going on. But then she sees Lilith and immediately short circuits. Because, let's be real, Lilith isn't just mysterious, she's gorgeous. And suddenly, Tsukasa goes from, I need to protect my friend, to I need to know her skincare routine ASAP. Meanwhile, Yuri is trying and failing to explain that his maid isn't actually evil. But instead of calming things down, he just makes himself look more sus. Tsukasa, so you're telling me a random woman showed up and started living with you? Yuri, yes, but she's totally normal, I swear. Tsukasa, and she refuses to tell you anything about her past? Yuri, yeah, but she's really nice. Tsukasa, my guy, you're about to be the main character of a horror documentary. At this point, Tsukasa is convinced that Lilith is up to something. But then Lilith does the unthinkable. She smiles sweetly and offers Tsukasa tea. And just like that, our girl forgets her entire mission. Yuri, being the walking L that he is, gets flustered every time Lilith so much as breathes near him. Like, bro, your emotions are so obvious. Even Tsukasa is picking up on them now. At one point, Lilith casually leans in to wipe something off Yuri's face. And instead of acting normal, my guy malfunctions, full-on overheating like an old laptop. Tsukasa, witnessing this in real time, is disgusted. She's like, you're telling me you live in the same house as her and you still don't know anything about her? Are you even trying? And Yuri? This man just stands there looking like a deer in headlights. Despite all her efforts, Tsukasa leaves the mansion knowing absolutely nothing. Lilith is just too good at dodging questions, and Tsukasa is too distracted by how elegant she is. But before she goes, she hits Yuri with the biggest reality check. Tsukasa, you're down bad. Yuri, what? No, I'm not. Tsukasa, my guy, you're blushing every time she looks at you. Just admit it. Yuri refuses, of course, but we all know what's up. Even Lilith knows. She just plays along because watching him struggle is hilarious. As the episode wraps up, we're left with 0 answers about Lilith's past, but infinite questions. Who is she? Why is she so perfect? And most importantly, how is Yuri gonna survive living under the same roof as her without completely losing his mind? One thing's for sure, this boy is in deep. And something tells me that whatever secret Lilith is hiding is gonna change everything. And that's a wrap for this episode. If you're just as confused and intrigued as we are, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because trust me, things are about to get even weirder. Let me know in the comments, do you think Lilith is hiding something sinister, or is Yuri just being a massive overthinker? See you in the next one. You wake up in a mansion and your maid is acting like she's hiding a government-level secret. Everything she does is way too perfect. She moves like she's dodging security lasers, and somehow she's always one step ahead of you. That's Yuri's life. And this kid is absolutely not having it. But today is special because Lilith, the suspiciously perfect maid, is desperate to convince Yuri that she's not shady. Spoiler, she fails spectacularly. So, Yuri, aka the Tiny Trust Issues Factory, is still convinced Lilith is plotting something. And Lilith, she's out here trying to prove she's normal, which, let's be honest, is the most suspicious thing she could possibly do. First mission, acting totally casual. Lilith decides to tone down her supernatural levels of maid excellence, so Yuri won't think she's a spy or something. And y'all, the struggle is real. She goes from Michelin star chef to our eye burned water in record time. Yuri, instead of calming down, just thinks, wait, is she bad at this on purpose? Brother Yuri tries to catch Lilith off guard by watching her every move like a detective in a crime drama. But here's the thing, Lilith stays undefeated. She's basically a stealth mode ninja maid. Yuri turns around for half a second, bam! The food is ready. He blinks, boom! The floor is sparkling. He sneezes, poof! The laundry is folded. This man is losing his mind. At one point, Yuri straight up sprints into a room, thinking he'll finally catch Lilith in the act, only to find her standing there already finished with whatever chore she was supposed to be doing. How does she doctor it? At this point, Yuri's convinced she's either a ghost, a robot, or an elite assassin. Lilith, being the ultimate troll, starts leaning into the bit. She starts saying weirdly cryptic stuff like, "Oh my, you mustn't concern yourself with such trivial matters," and "You'll understand someday." Ma'am, please, that is not helping. Yuri, being the main character of Paranoia, completely spirals. His internal monologue is basically, she's hiding something big. Maybe she's a former crime boss, or a runaway princess, or worse, what if she's a government spy sent to observe me? At this point, he's fully in conspiracy mode. He's probably about 2 minutes away from setting up a murder board with red string. Lilith, on the other hand, is having a blast. She finds Yuri's dramatic detective energy hilarious and keeps making things worse on purpose. At one point, Yuri tries to interrogate her, and instead of answering like a normal person, she just smirks and says, "Wouldn't you like to know, Yuri?" Bruh. Yuri basically has a meltdown. He's like, "See? That's exactly what someone hiding something would say." And Lilith? She's out here giggling like she's in a rom-com while this kid is losing years off his life from stress. Eventually, Lilith realizes that the only way to break the cycle is to get serious. She straight up tells Yuri that she's just a normal maid and that he needs to chill. And Yuri, bless his tiny dramatic heart, says the most insane thing possible. He looks this fully grown woman in the eye and says, "You're too beautiful. That's what's suspicious." Hello? Did he just accuse her of being sus for being hot? Lilith, who was not expecting to get roasted like that, just malfunctions. Like, what is she even supposed to do with that information? She's so thrown off that she just stares at him, processing the audacity. Meanwhile, Yuri immediately realizes what he just said, turns bright red, and short circuits. Bro basically hit himself with the most accidental anime confession of all time. And Lilith? Oh, she's not letting this go. She just gets this dangerous smirk and says, "Oh my, you think I'm beautiful, Yuri? Game. Over." Yuri fully panics, starts yelling, and runs away. Like, actually sprints out of the room, and Lilith? She's just standing there, enjoying the fact that she just broke this man's entire thought process. So, what did we learn today? Yuri still thinks his maid is up to something. Lilith is having way too much fun messing with him. And Yuri's biggest enemy isn't Lilith, it's his own mouth. But don't worry, folks, because this mystery is far from over. Okay, hold up. Why is my maid suddenly acting like she's training me for the Olympics? I signed up for school sports day, not a boot camp. This woman's out here planning my entire routine like I'm about to go toe-to-toe with world champions. And let's be honest, I can barely pass PE class without wheezing like an old man. But nah, she insists I gotta win. For what reason? No idea, but I'm starting to think she might have some ulterior motives. So picture this. I casually mentioned to Lilith, aka my very mysterious, slightly too perfect maid, that I have a school sports event coming up. Before I even finish my sentence, she's already holding a clipboard like a military coach. "Training starts now," she says, with this suspiciously smug smile. I blink. Wait, what? Next thing I know, she's dragging me outside like I signed up for the Squid Games. We start with light jogging, which in her dictionary means run like your life depends on it. Meanwhile, I'm struggling to keep my legs from giving out. I look over, and she's just floating next to me. No sweat. Perfect posture, like she's in some Nike ad. I swear she's not human. Between gasping for air and questioning my life choices, I start thinking, why does she care so much? It's just a school event. Who even watches these things except for parents who lost a bet? But she's way too invested. Like, imagine if your mom suddenly turned into your personal gym trainer and made you eat raw eggs for breakfast. Yeah, that kind of intense. Then she drops a bombshell. "You must win, young master. It is a matter of honor." Excuse me, what? Honor? Since when did a three-legged race determine the fate of the universe? I squint at her. "Lilith, what are you not telling me?" She smiles. That same weird, mysterious smile she always does. And that's when I knew I was being set up. Training day 2. She's upgraded from making me run to full-on obstacle courses in our backyard. At this point, I don't know if she's helping me or just bullying me for her own amusement. She's having way too much fun watching me trip over cones and fall flat on my face. I swear I heard her laugh. Then she casually demonstrates how to do a high jump. And when I say jump, I mean she just floats over the pole like she's defying gravity. Nah, that ain't normal. At this point, I'm convinced she's either a secret superhero or just straight up supernatural. I try to copy her. It goes horribly wrong. Ever seen a penguin try to fly? Yeah, that's me. Lilith just claps politely while I'm lying on the ground contemplating my life. Finally, it's game day. I'm half dead from her training, but hey, at least my legs aren't jelly anymore. I show up at school, and the vibe is chaotic. Kids hyped on sugar, teachers who already regret signing up to supervise, and that one kid who thinks he's Usain Bolt. Lilith insists on watching from the sidelines. She's standing there, looking way too elegant for this mess, sipping tea like she's at a fancy brunch instead of a middle school sports event. And every time I make eye contact, she gives me this knowing look, like she's expecting me to do something crazy. First race, disaster. My shoe flies off mid-run, nearly takes someone out. Lilith sighs dramatically. Second event, a 3-legged race with my worst enemy. Let's just say we spent more time face planting than actually running. Final event, a relay race, my last chance at redemption. I grab the baton, start running, and then, out of nowhere, I hear her voice. "You must win, young master." I don't know what kind of Jedi mind trick she pulls, but suddenly, I'm speed. My legs are moving like they've got built-in rockets. I pass everyone. It's like I got hit with a main character power-up. I cross the finish line first, barely breathing, heart racing. And when I turn to look at Lilith, she's just smiling, like she knew this would happen. So, did I win a prize? Nope, just eternal confusion. Because when I asked Lilith why she was so determined to make me win, she just patted my head and said, "It was fun watching you try." Excuse me? That's it. That's the reason. No deep backstory, no secret motive, just pure amusement. I have been played, but you know what? Maybe it was kinda worth it. Maybe. And that, my friends, is how I nearly died at school, sports day, thanks to my very questionable maid. But hey, at least I got faster. If you enjoyed this chaos, drop a like, comment your wildest sports day fail. Y'all ever met someone who's just too perfect? Like, suspiciously perfect? That's exactly what's been going on with our boy Yuri. His maid? Absolute goddess tier. She cooks like a 5-star chef, cleans like a whole team of professionals, and moves so smooth she might actually be an AI-generated waifu. But today, oh-ho, tables have turned, and this is where things get wild. Because Lilith, the one who's always got everything under control, just got nerfed hard. Our mysterious maid has officially been hit with a cold. And let's be real, when the most competent person in your life is suddenly out of commission, everything just crumbles into chaos. So, what does Yuri do? Step up? Be a responsible gentleman? Pfft. Nah. He spirals into maximum panic mode. Yuri walks into the room, expecting to see Lilith in her usual too perfect to be real mode. But nah, sis is laid out. Face red, breathing heavy, looking like she just lost a boss fight to influenza.x. He's shook. The ever-powerful Lilith, weak, vulnerable, this can't be. And because Yuri's whole personality is just, I must investigate this woman's existence, he immediately jumps to conclusions. Maybe she's not sick. Maybe this is just another one of her mysterious tactics to make him worry. Maybe she's testing his affection. Sir, she literally has a fever of 102. Sit down. But Yuri? Oh, he's got theories. And what's his first move? Instead of, grabbing medicine like a normal person, he gets all close and personal like, "Are you dying? Do you need me to hold you?" Lilith, with whatever strength she has left, just side-eyes him like, "Sir, I am battling for my life. Please." With Lilith down, Yuri realizes, oh no, this means he has to do the house chores. And let me tell you, my guy has 0 cooking skills. Like, this dude could burn water. But he's committed, he's gonna take care of his maid, and he's gonna do it with honor. First up, making porridge. Simple, right? Wrong. This kitchen is about to become a war zone. He's out here aggressively chopping vegetables like they just insulted his entire bloodline. He's throwing rice into the pot with the confidence of a man who does not know what he's doing. And then, oh no, smoke, fire. The pot is literally melting. Meanwhile, Lilith, half conscious, peeks from her sickbed like, this is it. This is how I die. Not from the cold, but from him. And Yuri, oblivious. He proudly walks in, holding his culinary disaster like it's Gordon Ramsay approved. Lilith takes one bite, and suddenly she's reconsidering life choices. Fever? Gone. Because whatever Yuri just fed her was so bad, her body chose fight over flight. Now, here's where things take a turn. Yuri, after running around playing nurse, starts feeling a little off. You already know where this is going. Yup, my guy just caught the same cold. Lilith, despite barely recovering, takes one look at this dude sneezing like a malfunctioning NPC and just sighs. Because let's be real, she's still her. Even while sick, she's built different. So guess what? She starts taking care of him instead. Yuri wakes up, dazed, wrapped in a blanket, with Lilith gently pressing a cool towel to his forehead. And suddenly, he's in maximum fluster mode. Brain short-circuiting, internal monologue, screaming. He was supposed to be the caregiver, but now this woman, who should be resting, is doting on him. This is too much for his little tsundere heart to handle. But before he can protest, Lilith just smirks, leans in, and whispers, Master Yuri, you're so cute when you're helpless. And that's it. Game over. Boy just died on the spot. By the next morning, Lilith's fully recovered. Yuri? Still sick. But does he regret it? Absolutely not. Because for once, instead of being the one suspiciously observing her every move, he got to see her in a new light. Human, vulnerable, and maybe even caring for him in a way that wasn't just duty. But of course, he can't just admit that. Instead, he grumbles something about how she's way too good at this, and she should have just let him take care of her properly. Lilith just chuckles, because she knows. And just like that, the mystery deepens. Who is Lilith, really? Why is she so perfect at everything? And most importantly, why did Yuri Loki enjoy being taken care of by her? So yeah, what did we learn today? Yuri should never be allowed near a kitchen, ever. Lilith may act all mysterious, but she's still undefeated. Yuri, certified simp. And honestly, we're all here for it. Because let's be real, this whole dynamic is too funny. One moment, Yuri's acting like Sherlock Holmes, trying to figure Lilith out, and the next, he's melting into a puddle of flustered mess at the smallest tease. And if that's not peak entertainment, I don't know what is. Yuri has been living a life of luxury, but lately, his peaceful days have been filled with confusion. Why? Because of Lilith, his enigmatic maid whose every action leaves him both intrigued and flustered. As time goes on, Yuri finds himself questioning his own emotions. Is it admiration? Is it something more? And most importantly, why does she always seem to know exactly what he's thinking? As the episode begins, Yuri notices something unusual. Lilith is acting strangely. Though she is usually calm and composed, there's a certain softness in her demeanor today, as if she's hiding something. Yuri, being ever suspicious, immediately assumes that she must be plotting something against him. After all, she's always one step ahead, teasing him in ways that leave him completely off balance. But this time, she denies any mischief, which only deepens his curiosity. The episode takes a turn when Yuri is invited to his friend Tsukasa's estate. Unlike Yuri, who is often caught up in his own paranoia about Lilith's true motives, Tsukasa is more laid back and mischievous. However, when Yuri arrives, Tsukasa immediately picks up on something different about his friend. Yuri, usually so quick to complain about Lilith's mysterious nature, is now unusually quiet. Yuri, you're in love, aren't you? Tsukasa asks bluntly, catching Yuri completely off guard. Cue panic mode. Yuri stares blankly, his mind racing to deny such an absurd accusation. Him? In love with Lilith? Impossible. But Tsukasa isn't buying it. He's known Yuri for a long time and has seen how his interactions with Lilith have changed. He's gone from being suspicious of her every move to being flustered by even the smallest gestures. To prove his point, Tsukasa starts grilling Yuri on his behavior. Do you think about her a lot? Well, she's my maid. She's always around. Yuri replies, still in denial. Do you get nervous when she's close? No, well, sometimes. I mean, she does weird things. Do you feel weird when you don't see her? Yuri freezes. That one hits a little too close to home. Smirking, Tsukasa nods as if he's just won a game. Yup, you're in love. Yuri immediately rejects the idea, flailing around in protest. But Tsukasa isn't done. If Yuri is really this hopeless, then there's only one solution: a crash course in romance. Thus begins the funniest training montage ever, with Tsukasa desperately trying to teach Yuri how to act smooth. Step 1. Compliments. Tsukasa tells Yuri to think of something nice to say about Lilith. Yuri hesitates before blurting out, "Your cooking is very edible." Tsukasa stares at him in disbelief. Bro, that's the best you've got? Attempt number 2. Your eyes are very useful for seeing things. Tsukasa nearly collapses. Are you trying to fail? Step 2. Confidence. Yuri needs to stop acting like a flustered mess every time Lilith teases him. He should look her in the eyes, speak clearly, and show authority. Unfortunately, when Tsukasa makes him practice with a random maid, Yuri barely lasts half a second before turning bright red and running away. Step 3. Smooth talk. Tsukasa gives him a romantic pickup line to try, but when Yuri practices in front of a mirror, he cringes so hard that he immediately abandons the idea. After several failed attempts, Tsukasa sighs in defeat. You are beyond saving. But fate isn't done with Yuri yet, because just as Tsukasa is about to call it quits, Lilith herself walks in. Yuri freezes. All of Tsukasa's training gone. His brain completely shut down. And Tsukasa? Oh, he is loving this. Go on, Yuri. Say something, he urges, grinning like a devil. Yuri swallows nervously before finally managing, "Hi." Tsukasa nearly flips the table. Sir, that's it? Lilith, meanwhile, looks amused. She can tell something is up. Did something happen? She asks, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Yuri, still sweating, blurts out, "Nope, nothing. Everything is normal." Lilith chuckles softly. She knows. With a teasing smile, she steps closer and casually pats Yuri's head before walking away. And just like that, Yuri is left standing there, completely flustered, while Tsukasa laughs until he can't breathe. Later that night, as Yuri reflects on everything that happened, he realizes something strange. He's always assumed that Lilith is hiding something, that she has some ulterior motive for working as his maid. But what if he's been wrong? What if, instead of tricking him, she's simply enjoying their time together? For the first time, Yuri wonders if maybe, just maybe, he doesn't need to have all the answers. Maybe it's okay to just enjoy the mystery that is Lilith. As the episode ends, Yuri watches Lilith from a distance, feeling something unfamiliar but warm in his heart. He still doesn't fully understand his feelings, but one thing is certain, his life has become far more interesting since she arrived. And whether he admits it or not, he wouldn't change that for anything. Now, our boy Yuri is still out here treating Lilith like she's some kind of undercover secret agent instead of, a regular, kinda sus maid. And Lilith? Yeah, she's trying to get closer to this kid, but homie has trust issues bigger than my Wi-Fi bill. So what does she do? She pulls up on Fujisaki, aka Maid Extraordinaire, for some good old wisdom on cracking Yuri's emotional safe. But does it work? Let's find out. Lilith, in full main character, trying to get an NPC to give side quest info mode, rolls up to Fujisaki. And if you don't remember Fujisaki, let me remind you, this is the maid of Tsukasa, Yuri's rich friend, and she takes her job very seriously. Like, if maids had a leaderboard, she'd be top 10 easy. Lilith straight up confesses that she wants Yuri to open up more. And Fujisaki? She's looking at her like, girl, you're telling me this as if you're not out here giving off mysterious waifu with a tragic backstory energy every day. But hey, she listens, and instead of roasting Lilith like she should, she actually gives some solid advice. If Lilith really wants Yuri to trust her, she needs to make him feel safe. Normal maid stuff, not the I might be an ex-assassin vibe she's been serving. So Lilith takes this advice to heart and goes back home like, all right, let's be less sus and more chill. But Yuri? This boy sees her being normal for 2 seconds and immediately thinks something is off. Imagine your friend is constantly cryptic and dramatic. Then one day, they're just like, hey, how's your day? And suddenly, you're convinced they've been replaced by an AI. That's Yuri. Duh. Lilith tries small talk, casual convos, and even making herself seem more approachable. And Yuri? He's side-eyeing her, like she just announced she's moving to Mars. Bro is so convinced that Lilith is hiding some grand secret, that he cannot handle basic human interaction. Like, imagine your crush suddenly starts acting normal, and your first reaction is red alert. Something is wrong. Meanwhile, Fujisaki is over at Tsukasa's place, giving the masterclass on how to be a maid without making your employer feel like they're in a psychological thriller. Tsukasa, being the walking bank account that he is, just casually brings up how much he trusts Fujisaki. And she's like, yeah, that's because I don't treat you like I have a top secret mission dossier on your life. Fujisaki is basically out here playing chess, while Lilith is stuck playing Uno. Back at the mansion, Lilith's attempts to be less mysterious keep backfiring, so she decides to go full, if I can't convince you, I'll confuse you mode. She starts teasing Yuri even more, but instead of her usual smooth, mysterious energy, she just trolls him. Yuri, you're acting weird. Lilith, maybe I'm an alien. Or a time traveler. Who knows? Yuri. Buffering. At this point, Yuri's brain has officially blue-screened. The poor kid is so used to overthinking that when Lilith literally jokes about being something crazy, he just accepts it as fact instead of realizing she's messing with him. My dude really sat there like, okay, so she's probably an alien. That checks out. The I trust you moment. Almost Lilith sees that teasing him isn't totally working, so she switches tactics. One night, while they're just chilling, she softens up and tells him, you don't have to always figure me out. Just trust that I'm here for you. And for a brief second, a very brief second, Yuri actually stops overthinking. Lilith internally. Oh my god, did that actually work? Yuri. Wait, but what if this is a trick? Bruh, we were so close. So did Lilith get Yuri to open up? Kinda. Did Yuri stop being paranoid? Absolutely not. But one thing is clear. Fujisaki might be the MVP of normal maids, but Lilith is in a completely different league. At this rate, Yuri's going to need a whole therapist before he stops seeing his own maid as a walking conspiracy theory. But hey, at least she's having fun. You're chilling in your massive mansion with your ridiculously perfect and mysterious maid. Everything's going great, right? Wrong. Because just when things were getting comfy, boom, an unexpected guest straight out of nowhere. And not just any guest. A walking, talking bombshell of drama. Yuri barely had time to process what was happening before a whole storm of chaos barged in, looking like she had just sprinted through the entire anime universe to get here. Meet Natsume. She's got that I know something you don't energy. And guess what? She's not here to chat over tea. Nah, she's here with a mission. And that mission, stealing Lilith back. Yuri's brain. 404 error. Who even are you? Yuri barely managed to stutter, still trying to process why his peaceful life had just turned into an anime showdown. Natsume crosses her arms like she just pulled up to a villain convention. I'm her former coworker and classmate. You must be the clueless little rich kid she's been playing house with. Excuse me? The disrespect? Yuri was about to throw hands, but let's be real. He's like 12 and built like a breadstick. His best weapon? Pure, unfiltered delusion. He points at Lilith, absolutely flabbergasted. You know this woman? Lilith, ever the definition of unbothered, just smiles. Yes, she was my colleague in my previous job. Brother. That answer was so vague it felt like a government cover-up. What job? Where? Why is this information classified? Yuri was sweating hard. This was his maid, his. And now some mysterious past coworker rolls up trying to steal her away? Oh no! Nope, not happening. But Natsume wasn't just some side character. No. She was built different. She straight up called Lilith out in front of everyone. Why are you even here, Lilith? This isn't you. You're playing house when you should be back where you belong. Hold up, where she belongs? What does that even mean? Yuri looked at Lilith, expecting her to be just as confused as he was. But nope. Instead, she looked nervous, guilty, I-O. Why is she looking guilty? The plot just thickened. Natsume continued, her gaze sharp. Tell me, Lilith, have you told this kid the truth about yourself? Oh, we cooking now? Yuri was hanging on to the edge of his metaphorical seat. What truth? What is she hiding? Lilith, still rocking her mysterious queen persona, sighed. Natsume, this is neither the time nor the place. Excuse me? If this wasn't the time, then when? Natsume rolled her eyes. So you're just gonna keep lying? Pretending? Yuri was seconds away from combusting. His maid was a fraud. Natsume, fed up with the secrets, finally dropped the bomb. Lilith didn't just work with me. She was one of the best in the field. People feared her. Wyo, hold on. Feared her? Best in the field? Is this maid secretly a top-level assassin? Yuri's brain officially blue-screened. What do you mean, feared? This is Lilith we're talking about. My maid. She makes tea. She bakes cookies. She could take down a whole room of people without breaking a sweat. Silence, bro. What kind of maid service was this? Yuri was shooketh. His reality was crumbling. His world destroyed. His ability to think gone. But here's the thing. Did he care? Nope. Yuri, in all his delusional rich kid glory, clenched his tiny fists and declared, I don't care what she was. She's my maid now. Natsume literally face-palmed. You absolute buffoon. This isn't about owning a maid. She's hiding her past from you, and you're just okay with that. Yuri, full of main character energy, just grinned. Yup. Bruh. Natsume was done. She looked at Lilith, hoping for some backup, but Lilith just smiled. I appreciate your concern, Natsume, but I like where I am now. And just like that, Yuri won. Natsume groaned. Fine, whatever, but don't come crying when this all blows up in your face. Then, like every good antagonist who loses an argument, she vanished into the night. Yuri? Still confused, still processing, but hey, he still had Lilith, and that's all that mattered. The episode opens with Yuri growing more suspicious of Lilith's origins. By now, he has spent considerable time trying to decipher why she seems so perfect yet distant, why she always appears at the right time, and why she has such a mysterious aura around her. Despite his lingering doubts, one thing is clear. He has grown attached to her. But Yuri being Yuri, his way of showing concern is to keep a watchful eye on her while internally questioning everything. As the day progresses, Lilith is, as always, effortlessly efficient in handling the household chores, preparing meals, and ensuring Yuri has everything he needs. But something feels different. There's an underlying tension, a slight unease in Lilith's demeanor that Yuri can't ignore. When he asks her if something is wrong, she brushes it off with her usual gentle smile, reassuring him that everything is fine. But Yuri isn't convinced. Later in the episode, Yuri stumbles upon an old keepsake, a trinket that appears to be connected to Lilith's past. It's tucked away in one of the mansion's storage rooms, long forgotten. As he picks it up, a wave of curiosity washes over him. What was this doing here? Could this be a clue about Lilith's true identity? His mind races with possibilities, and he resolves to get to the bottom of it. Determined, Yuri confronts Lilith about the keepsake, but she hesitates. For the first time, her usual composed expression falters. She takes a deep breath before finally revealing a small piece of her past. She once belonged to a noble family, but left under mysterious circumstances. However, before she can divulge any further, she skillfully redirects the conversation, leaving Yuri with more questions than answers. Meanwhile, Natsume, Yuri's childhood friend, notices the change in Yuri's behavior. She teases him about being overly fixated on Lilith, but also acknowledges that his concerns aren't entirely unwarranted. Sensing Yuri's frustration, Natsume offers to help him figure things out. Though reluctant at first, Yuri agrees. Together, they begin piecing together small hints about Lilith's background, conversations with other servants, old documents in the mansion, and small details Lilith has inadvertently revealed over time paint a picture that suggests she might be running from something or someone. The atmosphere of the episode takes a more serious turn when a letter arrives at the mansion, addressed to Lilith. She reads it alone, her expression unreadable. Yuri, sensing something is amiss, asks about it, but Lilith quickly dismisses his concerns. However, that night, Yuri catches Lilith standing by the window, lost in thought, gazing at the moon as if she were debating something internally. The next day, Lilith becomes noticeably more reserved. She avoids Yuri's questions and seems preoccupied. Yuri, unable to take it anymore, confronts her once again. "I know something is wrong. You're not yourself." His words are laced with worry, but also with determination. Lilith, for the first time, lets her guard down. She explains, albeit vaguely, that her past isn't something she's proud of and that she left it behind for a reason. She assures Yuri that she has no intention of leaving, but there's a sadness in her eyes that suggests otherwise. Yuri, not one to accept half-truths, declares, "I don't care what your past is. You're here now, and that's what matters." His words catch Lilith off guard, and for a moment, there's a visible softness in her expression. She places a hand on his head, a rare gesture of affection that leaves Yuri flustered. As the episode draws to a close, the tension eases slightly, but the mystery remains. Yuri hasn't gotten all the answers he wants, but one thing is clear: he isn't letting Lilith go that easily. Meanwhile, Lilith, though still hiding parts of herself, seems more at peace knowing that Yuri cares for her beyond just being a servant in his home. The episode ends with an unspoken promise between them, one of trust, understanding, and a slowly deepening bond that neither of them can quite put into words. This episode is a crucial turning point in the series, pushing Yuri and Lilith's relationship beyond mere curiosity and into something more meaningful. The blend of humor, mystery, and heartfelt moments makes it a memorable chapter, setting the stage for what's to come in the final episodes of the season. The final episode of The Maid I Hired recently is mysterious, delivers an emotional and heartfelt conclusion to the relationship between Yuri and Lilith. Throughout the season, Yuri has been torn between his curiosity about Lilith's true nature and his growing affection for her. Now, in the last episode, everything comes to a head as the series wraps up with a mix of romance, warmth, and a satisfying resolution. The episode begins with Yuri waking up, only to find that Lilith has already started her daily duties around the mansion. From the start, something feels different. There's a sense of finality in the air. Yuri, who has spent countless days wondering about Lilith's past and questioning her true intentions, now seems to have come to terms with one undeniable fact. He doesn't care about where she came from or what secrets she may be hiding. What truly matters to him is that she stays by his side. Despite this realization, Yuri struggles to put his feelings into words. He follows Lilith around the house, watching her prepare breakfast and tidy up, his heart growing heavier with each moment. As Lilith notices his quiet demeanor, she gently asks if something is wrong. Yuri hesitates, but ultimately shakes his head, afraid that voicing his thoughts might disrupt the delicate balance they have maintained. Later in the day, Lilith and Yuri go to visit Tsukasa and Fujisaki. The two girls, who have been observant of Yuri's feelings all along, immediately notice that he is unusually quiet. Tsukasa teases him about being in love with Lilith, but instead of his usual flustered reaction, Yuri simply lowers his gaze, confirming what everyone already knew. Tsukasa and Fujisaki exchange knowing looks, but decide to let Yuri work through his emotions on his own. As the day goes on, Lilith and Yuri share a peaceful moment in the mansion's garden. The sun begins to set, casting a warm glow over them. Lilith, sensing that Yuri has something on his mind, takes the initiative. She kneels down beside him and softly tells him that she has enjoyed every moment spent in his company. Her words, though kind, carry a subtle farewell, as if she is preparing to leave. This is the breaking point for Yuri. He can no longer hold back his emotions, and with uncharacteristic boldness, he reaches out and grabs Lilith's hand. His voice trembles as he demands to know the truth, why she appeared in his life, why she always seems to avoid questions about her past, and most importantly, whether she plans to leave him. Lilith looks at him with a mixture of surprise and sorrow. She confesses that she was once a maid for a noble family, but left under complicated circumstances. However, she assures Yuri that none of that matters anymore. What matters is the time they have spent together and the happiness she has found by serving him. Lilith smiles gently and tells Yuri that she will stay by his side as long as he wants her to. Hearing these words, Yuri finally understands that he has nothing to fear. It doesn't matter where Lilith came from or what her past holds. What matters is their bond. With newfound confidence, he pulls Lilith into a tight hug, catching her off guard. He declares that he never wants her to leave and that he will always cherish her. Lilith, touched by his sincerity, embraces him back, and for the first time she allows herself to fully accept Yuri's feelings. In this moment, the mystery surrounding her fades into the background, replaced by the undeniable warmth of their connection. The final scene of the episode shows Yuri and Lilith continuing their lives together in the mansion. Though the future is uncertain, one thing is clear. They have found happiness in each other. The series ends on a heartwarming note, with Yuri no longer questioning Lilith's intentions and instead focusing on the joy of having her in his life. As the credits roll, viewers are left with a sense of closure. While some questions about Lilith's past remain unanswered, the series stays true to its theme. Some mysteries are best left unsolved, especially when love and trust are more important. In the end, The Maid I Hired Recently is Mysterious is not just about the enigma surrounding Lilith, but about the growing bond between two people who have found solace in one another. The final episode beautifully captures this sentiment, making it a fitting and satisfying conclusion to the series.